Hi, I'm John Moran, and we just finished up some Parlour coffee house sessions, and now we're doing gear talk with Max Marshall. And what a hoot we've had so far.
My pleasure.
We're going to talk about what Max uses for his picking hardware. And what do you got there, Max?
Well, first, get the newest one I got here. I'm very fortunate to be an artist with Stonebridge guitars, and included in Stonebridge is a guitar maker by the name of Furch. And the cool story about Furch guitars, František Furch in 1981, while the Czech Republic was still under communist rule, started building guitars secretly with his son, and was making guitars and that were in much demand, and he was doing it totally under wraps. And then finally, when the communism lifted its iron, once the Iron Curtain was drawn back, he continued to make the guitars, and he has been since. And I'm very fortunate to have a Furch guitar for my studio work,
Right.
as well as stuff that doesn't require a pickup. I'll never put a pickup in this. Alpine spruce with mahogany.
That's beautiful.
So
eh?
that's
warm, very warm sounding.
And my other one is made by a lady named Kathleen Thomas. And the cool thing about this one is I was living in Kensington Market and in Toronto, and there was this guitar shop that's not there anymore in Kensington, Six String Garage, I'm pretty sure. And this guitar was there. And I was broke as a bone living in the city at the time, but I would come by and this guitar was there, and it really, the Mississippi John Hurt really worked on it. The fingerstyle stuff really responded well, and I really connected with it. And so finally, near my end of my tenure in living in Toronto, I just had to have it no matter what. So I sublet my I kind of sublet my room out, and I took my rent money, my Toronto rent money, and put it towards this guitar. And crashed on couches for a month or so.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What a story.
Well, and it's my it's a really great guitar, walnut on the back. I've tried to find Kathleen Thomas. I think she's doing restorations for the London Philharmonic. But she's not really on the internet or anything like that. So maybe one day I'll be able to say, hey, like your guitar you made is my guitar for life,
Right. And what year would it be? Any idea? Max?
There's very light pencil markings on the inside of it that say it was made in 2000.
Is that right?
Yeah,
eh?
yeah. So this is the tour.
And was it brand new when you bought it, or it was already used? or?
It was lightly used. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It must have been about 2010 or so that I bought it.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
It had the red.
I
top
painted
as well?
the red, and I
Okay.
wore into it a bit. And as you can see, I've been playing it.
Were you a beaver in your first life?
It's wearing and wearing and wearing,
Right.
and that's mostly all finger. But it's definitely able to take the abuse of being on the road, and
Right.
I've played hundreds of shows with it, and it's kind of my guitar for life.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
That
thanks
is
a lot.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
It sounds really good. I love the bridge on it.
Tiny little details on the bridge. The whole thing is beautiful, and I'm really fortunate to have these two instruments.
Now, what was your first guitar you ever had?
My first guitar I had was a Takamine. Some people say Takamine or whatever, Takamine, whatever.
Right.
That was my first guitar. I started playing guitar when I was 7. Actually, no. I have to say my very first one was an Alvarez or something like that I couldn't play, but my mom put me in soccer when I was about 7, and I scored on my own net. And then this is how you become a folk musician. And then she put me into hockey lessons. But,
Right. You scored on the other.
No, even worse. She put me in for. She thought she was signing me up for hockey skating lessons, but in the back then in the late '80s, in the basement of the Kobo Center, Kubota Club, you sign up, right? And she signed me up for figure skating lessons. So I show up without any toe picks on my feet and stuff like that.
No tutus?
No tutu. Well, I have a tutu once in a while, but that's another story. But it's one of those things where it's. And then finally, she put a guitar in my hands. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. This is like, let this be my sport.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So it's been music ever
good
since.
sport to have, isn't it?
It's a good sport to have. It's a tiring
sure.
sport sometimes.
Any guitars that you've gotten rid of that you wish you never did?
No, I don't know. I mean, I feel like when you don't have a lot of cash, you're constantly upgrading. So every guitar that I've given away or sold, most of my friends, I'm selling them to my pals anyways. So I'll come back
So
and
you
be
get
like, there it
visiting
is.
rights then, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. For a while, I went through a stretch of early '70s Yamahas, Japanese made. I had one Taiwanese guitar, and these guitars are awesome, right?
Yeah.
They're workhorses, and so I had a lot of those, and they're super cheap too. So those were the ones that kind of allowed me to, barter with my friends
Sure.
until I got a hold of these two.
And what's the ultimate guitar you would like, or is this the ultimate?
I don't know. It's an interesting life guitars have because you know what, they're so associative to the artist. Like as an example, I'm super into Big Bill Brunsey and Dave Van Ronk, and you see these guitars, but where are they now? I mean, maybe a private, someone's owning them. Maybe the family has them.
Yeah.
I'm so curious the life of a guitar, and some of these things, who knows where they are? I would love to track down some of these things.
Be an interesting story, wouldn't it?
Oh, that's the thing. It's there's so much we don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for, I think, Gear Talk, and a couple beautiful pieces there,
appreciate
Max.
it. Yeah,
and
thanks.
it's great having you in the studio. We've had a great time tonight, as always. And I'm John Moran. This is Max Marshall. I'm sitting in for the Dale, and boy, he needs to get back here pretty soon. But anyhow, have a good night, everybody.
Good night.